Welcome to Shoujo, lovely listeners. I am your host, Sarah, as always, joined by the dashing and wonderful Joe, who puts the Joe in Shoujo, where we watch Shoujo anime. And we are putting a gorgeous, lovely bow on the top of the Rose of Versailles, where today we talk about the movie that came out this year, 2025, and this is it. This is the end of our coverage of the Rose of Versailles. Wah, wah, wah. Right? Or no. Joe, thoughts? Oh my God. Thoughts on the movie?
Thoughts on the movie. I have thoughts on the movie because this is a musical episode. This movie's a musical.
I didn't even... yeah.
Doing a little musical number as we sing about stuff. Lots of we'll start the song and then we'll just have dialogue over the song as it's going on.
That's a very anime thing, except for normally it's like music playing and not the fact that the characters are shown singing the song while they're then having the conversation.
I will have plenty to say about this, but yes, we are watching, or we're covering the 2025 Rose of Versailles compilation movie is what I'm going to call it. I originally thought this was going to be multiple movies. No, it's one movie. 2 hours, you get the whole thing.
Breakneck pace.
Breakneck pace.
Freaking going.
Oh,
the subtitles are so fast and hard to read maybe a little.
So this might be the first episode that some new people listen to. And if this is your first episode that you're listening to, hello. I'm Joe. That's Sarah. We sing every episode. No, I'm kidding. We don't sing any episodes.
We do not. Ever.
We just finished watching the entire run of the 1979 anime, The Rose of Versailles, which we liked quite a bit. So we are going to be comparing this movie to that somewhat, because that is the way in which we got the story. I have also this weekend started and read the first 3 chapters of the manga, so I can also comment a little bit on that and what how the tone of that is in comparison to the other two. So just we're gonna try not to spoil everything that happens in the TV show, but we're gonna bring it up when it comes up, because oh boy, I got things to say about this movie.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think it's a good, if it is your first thing watching. I'm like, okay, we won't jump into it first, but I feel like it.
Yeah.
The movie feels very different from the show, not necessarily in like a good or bad way. It's just very different, feeling and tone wise, I would say.
Oh yeah, night and day.
So if you were like, oh, this is too chirpy for me, then don't you worry. The shows that it can be a real downer. So
well, usually first we talk about our lives a little bit, so you can get to know us. You can feel like you get to know us a little bit. Some people only listen to this part of the podcast sometimes because they just want to get to know us and don't care about the show we're covering. That's wrong, though. You gotta listen to. You gotta go through the anime. That's why we're here. But Sarah, what have you been up to? Or should I have gone first?
No, you've already thrown it to me. Here, I can do this.
Yep.
Normally watching, I go first. Or let's see. I'm on to season 8 of Survivor, because if for anyone new, I am rewatching Survivor from season 1 to now, which is like 47 seasons. So in a year, I should be done, I think.
Oh, man. I like the fact that you're doing, you are telling me that me watching all of Mobile Suit Gundam is like an insane undertaking. There's more Survivor than Gundam.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure.
I'm watching it. You watch that in subtitles, so you have to be actively watching it. I don't know. It's just something I can playing while I'm cleaning or while I'm working, or I don't know. I just, because there's definitely a lot of reality TV shows, I do this where it's the very last episode, the finale. I just like forward through most of the episode until we get to the part where we get to the winner, because they do all the annoying, like, reflecting on the season.
All the fluff.
This and that, yeah. And then reunion time, where it goes down and people are like at each other's throats because they've seen the show now. And
so is 8 seasons enough to have people start repeating as contestants, or do they not start that till later?
This is All-Star season.
Oh, okay.
So specifically this season is, but I probably started, I can't remember what seasons I was like actively watching it. I started watching Survivor probably in like 2008. And the season I'm on, they crank so many seasons out a year. Like,
yeah,
I'm in like 2004 maybe. So maybe in like, I don't know, 10 to 15 seasons, I'll be slightly remembering some folks. But it's so weird because I never liked it when I'm gonna get too much into reality TV, which we're not here to talk about. I just love it. If anyone else likes reality TV, yay. The drama, we live for it. Why we like shoujo too. And let's see, I've been playing Stardew some more. I feel like nothing else remarkable has happened in my life since we last recorded. How about you, Joe?
I have finished all of Star Wars Rebels, the animated show.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the end of it, and that show extremely is good on the first couple episodes, like the opening arc and the ending arc, and then everything in the middle is just kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know if this hit. I don't really know if this was the thing to do.
Gotcha.
Which is interesting.
Okay, well. It's over.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. You know, we like Star Wars. It has Star Wars stuff in it. That's always fun. They have the space combat looks really good in that show. Some of the coolest stuff. If you like seeing the little X-wings fly around, good. But yeah, so I finished that, and I can now move on to KOTOR 2, which I have not started yet, but I will start soon.
I'm so excited.
I gotta decide what kind of character build I'm gonna do last, because in KOTOR 1, I did more of like a charisma, I'm talking my way through things, and now I don't want to do that because I just did that. So now I'm gonna have to decide a new type of approach. Maybe I'll just be should I be like a meathead? Should I just be like real dumb? Just like all power?
Oh.
No think.
You mean stat-wise? I mean, I feel like that lends itself to, if you want to be more Sithy, like just brute force your way through everything.
Why is that gotta be a bad guy thing? I can't be a good guy and just brute force my way through things?
Property damage is evil. I don't know.
No, it's not. Untrue. Yeah.
Whatever your heart desires.
We'll see. I
guess that's a good way to do it, where you play differently between them, where I just am like, okay, again, the same thing I did last time.
Really? See, I always try to do a different thing, because it's like even right now, I started playing Dark Souls Remastered Seamless Co-op with one of my friends, and I'm trying to do a build I'd never done, which is like faith and strength. Like, I'm gonna be like a paladin kind of guy. Like, I'm gonna have the biggest sword you can have, and it's gonna be like holy element or something, and I'm gonna try to use miracles and like things I never use, and just see if it works out, you know?
Nice.
You just gotta try new different stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better. Like, sometimes I'm trying to think of like times that I tried like different stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I like this better than the original
thing.
I
also play like where I like to do like persuasion and charisma, and that's doing it differently than I do in real life. So that's enough of a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, be a smooth
You never try to charisma your way into situations in real life?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Not a fast talker?
I'm just like, I'm sorry, constantly. When I have no reason to apologize.
Okay.
Yeah. That's different enough for me. I know, because I replayability, and then I never do anything different. Romance the same people, make the same decisions is more of a like comfort, I guess, than replaying for
the certainty of repetition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need it to be different. I need to do some different thing.
Joe's different.
I have to be different.
Cool.
I'm not like all the other gamers. I'm different, you know? This is what
That's
separates me from the herd. I'm an alpha gamer. I'm a sigma gamer.
No, don't say that. No, no, no. No, that's not true. Joe is very super.
You're not an alpha, Joe. Is that what you're saying? You're saying I'm not a sigma? I'm the rare
You're not a big
omega
jerk.
whatever? I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I just think of that bad animated movie that I did not see, but I remember seeing trailers for.
Alpha and Omega, the thing with the wolves?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why do I know that? Hold
Joe,
on.
I'm surprised. Okay, because that is a big genre in like manga or like webcomics and stuff, is the omegaverse. I'm surprised there aren't any like popular animes, or at least that I'm aware of, that are using that. For romance.
You know what the omegaverse is, right?
Well, weird smutty stuff.
With the wolves things and the
Okay, well, it's not about
and
wolves
all that
in
stuff.
particular.
Well, it's not about wolves,
like,
but we're borrowing maybe not only the social dynamics, but also some anatomical things related to it.
Oh no, no, it's more of the like, oh, we're destined to be with each other kind of
it's
thing.
There's like a little more going on there with the sex stuff.
Well,
I would say.
Well, some of them
the
don't get
I don't think you should.
like that.
Actually, I think there are some anime that kind of get into that a little bit. I would not be surprised. Oh, I'm sure. Like there's certainly is some manga. If I search Omegaverse and I look at images, which I'm gonna do right now.
Oh, Joe, you're
what am I gonna
me.
Get? I definitely get some manga with some dudes in it.
Okay, I'll have you know that for
Manhwa.
every like
love is an illusion,
grody dude one, there's like a nice josei option. Okay, now I feel like it.
He's in heat.
Okay, maybe it's a big boys love genre thing.
I
haven't seen any of those.
That's like begging for it.
Joe. Okay, whatever. Never mind. Okay, carry on.
Megumi and Sugumi. Ooh, these guys look real angry at each other. Ooh.
Joe. Okay. Back to shoujo. Everything's fluffy and innocent.
Yeah, everything. I mean, people have sex in this movie we watch. A kind of more explicit sex than they had in the TV show.
Here for it.
God, I'm looking at images of Alpha and Omega, and
okay, stop looking. Stop.
I do not like them. I don't like it.
I get flustered just hearing you saying that you're looking at those.
They have like no. I'm looking at the animated wolf show.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you should be getting flustered at the animated wolves. I don't like them. I don't like how these guys look.
I don't know.
She's got like
Did
a
you
whole
see
haircut.
Balto?
She has like a human haircut. Balto looks
that
more
voice, man,
like a dog.
Isn't that like Kevin Bacon or something is the voice actor?
Is that
somebody
true?
famous? I don't know. The
Balto
voice
looks more
of
like a
Balto
dog.
is incredible. Well, he's only a hybrid, or he's a hybrid. Although the whole Balto versus Toga or whatever, who saved the children?
You're talking about in real life?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah, it is Kevin Bacon. Oh, okay.
Yeah, freaking.
Look at that.
Kevin Bacon does not do it for me visually, but that voice, I don't know, man. Or like the Disney Robin Hood with the fox guy.
Mm-hmm. The furry one. We're like really talking about furries a lot here in this episode.
Okay, we got to move on.
That's fine. We can keep talking about furries.
No, I don't think furries are gonna be like.
What do you think Oscar's fursona would be?
Fursona? Is that what they call it?
Do you think she'd be a wolf?
So
she'd probably be
good.
like a. Wait, hold on. Nah, I don't think there's a
Fursona.
fursona. That's like
I love that.
It's like a horse.
That's so
that
fun.
sounds wrong. Have you not heard that before? How have you heard of the Omegaverse, but you haven't heard of a fursona?
Because I read manga online, but I don't know anything about furries.
Oh. Marie would probably be like a cat, right? Like a kitten.
She'd be a rabbit.
She'd be a rabbit.
She'd be a little bunny.
Because she's so
big ol'
skittish.
eyes. She's so helpless.
Yeah. She's got doe eyes.
Can't do anything.
As they say explicitly in the manga.
She doesn't annoy me as much in the movie.
Oh, okay.
At least there's that. Okay.
That's good.
We should probably
All right,
get to
maybe
that.
we should talk about the movie, the thing people are here for, and stop talking about personas in the Omegaverse. Okay, all right, well, let's talk about the movie. This is a movie made by Studio Mappa, who makes a bunch of other stuff. You probably know who that is if you know about anime stuff. They make, like Demon Slayer and what's the other thing? Jujutsu Kaisen. There you go.
Yeah. The movie is gorgeous.
And like a bunch of other stuff. They're like making everything right now. They made Chainsaw Man, I guess, that was fine. They made Attack on Titan and a bunch of other stuff. 1,000 things. They do a million things and they get a bunch of different people to do it. So there's no consistency across any of their projects. Anyway, big conglomerate type studio to me. The director of this movie is Ai Yoshimura. She has directed other stuff, including My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, a show that I liked pretty okay.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
It's fun. It's fun. It's like, it's like a popcorn TV show. It's like you just throw it on. You're like, this is cute, I guess. She also directed Blue Spring Ride, a TV show that I don't know.
It's like a newer shoujo school life. It's fine. I read the manga. I didn't watch the anime, but very kind of dramatic. Like, oh, you're such a nice boy, and then you move away and come back, and you're so mean now. I gotta, what happened? I want to learn what happened. Why'd you change so and so? / second male lead maybe has an actual chance instead of just being a throwaway character. Yeah, so maybe we'll cover that someday.
Yep. Also directed Dance with Devils,
which is just another, I think it's a Otome game.
Yeah, so real romance stacked director here. She also directed some episodes of Black Butler because they worked in the art department with that, and also Gintama, so several episodes of that worked in the art department of that. So pretty interesting credits here. In terms of voice actors, there is a bunch of voice actors in this, but I'm only going to talk about 2 of them. I'm just going to talk about Marie and Oscar. Because did you watch this dub or subbed? What did you watch?
I watched subbed.
You watched subbed. I watched both because I watched this movie 2 times.
Oh, damn. Oh.
Some of these things are surprising. So the voice actor for Marie Antoinette in Japanese is Aya Hirano. She is the voice of Kurumi Ume in Kimi ni Todoke.
Oh, I just realized Kurumi Ume rhymes. How cute is that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's another show we've covered in the feed if you want to listen to that. She's also the voice of Lucy Heartfilia in Fairy Tale. Like all of it, like since forever. She's the voice of what?
Haruhi Suzumiya. From the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yep.
The good.
And she's the
It's a fine show. I don't know why I was going to say that's good. It's fine.
I've never seen it, but I feel like I probably should as like an important show that people reference sometimes. And she's also the voice of Dende from Dragon Ball, which is great. We love Dende. Little tiny green guy. In English, Marie is voiced by Megan Shipman, who is the English voice of Anya Forager in Spy Family. She's also the voice of Grey in Black Clover, and Manami Aiba in My Hero Academia, who's like gentleman, little sidekick chick.
Yeah, the little, yep. Jester looking one.
Yep. The voice of Oscar in Japanese is Miyuki Sawashiro. She is the voice of Ayane Yano in Kimi ni Todoke. So we got
Ayane
2.
So much.
We got 2 of them in there. She's also the voice of Fujiko Mine in most of the Loop on the Third stuff, starting from some period of time, kind of up to now. She's the voice of Daki in Demon Slayer, which was the woman demon bad guy in the Red Light District arc.
The hot one.
Yeah, the hot one. And very distracting to me, she is the voice of Kanbaru from the Monogatari series. Sounds extremely like her at the very beginning when Oscar's super young. It threw me off.
Yeah, I really like the voice actresses they picked.
Yeah.
For Japanese.
In English, Oscar is voiced by Caitlin Glass, who is Mina Ashido in My Hero Academia, who's the pink one. She's Evergreen in Fairy Tail, and she's Moya in Fire Force. And I don't remember who that is.
Me neither.
Oh well. Anyway, that's the voice actors. I didn't do the guys. There's a bunch of people in this. Like, this is... I tried to do voice actors for the show, and it was a total bust because people were just in old shows because it's from the 70s. This is where it would have paid off because I would have been like, oh, and Furson's this guy who does all of these things, and Andre is this guy who does all of these things. But I can't just be doing that all day, no matter how much I would want to. And I kind of do want to. It is fun to see this.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this.
This show, the movie?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, here we go. Here's the summary. We open on a narration about why why Marie Antoinette needs to be married to the future king of France, Louis XVI. I have notes. I think we should just comment as we go along if you have specific things, because I wrote a bunch of specific notes, mostly about what's happening in the scene.
Wow, look at this.
I made a lot of notes. This is a whole new
type of summary for Joe.
Yeah. Well, part of this is like this is going to be kind of hard to summarize here because, like, it does really just feel like this movie is a montage of things happening as opposed to, like, a narrative arc. So, like, we get the narration that's like, oh, France and Austria, blah, blah, blah. They gotta solidify an alliance. Here's Marie getting shown into the city in a cart. We swoop immediately into her procession into Paris. We see Marie as a tiny 14-year-old wearing a blue hat. She sees Oscar for the first time, who also looks like a tiny 14-year-old wearing a different hat. We learn that Oscar's a woman. This is important.
I like that they they very distinctly depict aging in this that they weren't as clear about in the show, where they're very young looking here and we'll get to see them distinctly age.
It's interesting that, like, compared to the show, we just start with Marie and we don't start with Oscar. Like, it's definitely positioning Marie as the main character, which is, like, what the manga basically does. Like, the manga so far, of the 3 chapters I read, are like, this story is about 3 people. Furson, Oscar, and Marie. And you get, like, a little bit of Oscar being named as, like, a baby. And then it's just all Marie time, baby.
Interesting that Furson's in there as the top 3.
Yeah, he is, because it's like, this guy's important. Also, yeah, anyway, I'll talk about that later. I said that this opening has video game cutscene energy. Like, opening video game cutscene energy, like you launched the game for the first time.
It's so good. Like a JRPG.
Yes, that's exactly what it has. Also, I was destroyed immediately because I watched the English dub first, right?
Oh, God.
Her name is not pronounced Jarjays like I was saying the whole time. It's Jarjay.
Uh-oh.
Just annihilated immediately. This is going to happen multiple times to me listening to the English dub where I just, like, totally pronounced the name wrong the entire time we covered the series.
Nice.
Oh, I was getting annihilated. I was getting annihilated in multiple fronts listening to this or watching this movie, but that's the first front.
Now I want to watch it in dub.
I don't think it's better.
Okay. Okay.
Marie is introduced to the royal family and her soon-to-be husband, Louis XVI. He awkwardly kisses her, but it's fine, I guess. She's not impressed and wonders why her heart doesn't flutter.
He's kind of cute, though. Like, everyone's cute in this version.
They're too cute. Yes, they're very cutesy, which is good for this part and not so good later on when we meet some other people that should not be cutesy. I have a note here that King Louis's wig looks like shit.
Oh, man.
In the background, we see Gyarados. He's looking pretty good. I think Gyarados got kind of a glow up. Oh, yeah, I also noted that. No, you don't think so? As a kid.
I like him better.
Gyarados.
Oh, maybe. I don't
Adult
like
Gyarados
him.
looks terrible.
He's, like, creepy in this.
Yeah, Gyarados character assassination on him. Look at how they massacred my boy. Knowles, Countess Knowles gets a glow up also. She looks better. The narrator tells us that this story is about 2 beautiful roses, Marie and Oscar. The animation is pretty cool for this. I like the little, they do a lot of little, like, It feels like montage
Vignette.
animation. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like a little vignette.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty good. Also, the English narrator does not have it. I don't think the Japanese narrator has it compared to the narrator in the original show either. Doesn't have it.
Yeah, the narrator and I feel like it's outside of our two leading ladies here. The other characters aren't as, like alluring as they were in the series. I guess maybe just because we don't get as much time with them, or there's like no time with anyone. We're just constantly go.
Yeah, okay. This is why I was like, this does not have it. The English narrator in the movie is the same as Karen Strassman, who does the voice of Colin in Code Geass, and I'm like, this just sounds like Colin is talking to me. Why does it sound like this? No, she's the one who's like has red hair and pilots the red suit.
Gotcha.
She's red.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, back to the summary. We get the opening, which has the cast sing a song, which I love. This is great. The opening basically foreshadows / teases / plays out the rest of the story. It's kind of an interesting opening to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how did you feel about this being a musical? Because this is what I learned it was a musical, because I didn't know that going in.
Yeah, I had no idea either. I thought it was interesting because normally I hate musicals.
Oh my God.
I feel like a lot of the songs are pretty catchy though. Like, I didn't think the songs were bad. It just like it brought levity to the show that like doesn't suit the plot maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I have been on the record of saying that anime should have more musical numbers in it. I think animation pairs very well with musical numbers. I love it it's great in Phineas and Ferb. It's good in when they do it in SpongeBob. I think My Little Pony does it sometimes or whatever. Steven Universe did it a lot. Great. We love it. I think it's great. I think it's always good. I think you should always have a musical episode. I have been telling people for a long time that anime should have more musical numbers in it, and everybody else hates it but me. I'm the only person who thinks this is a good idea. I still think it's a good idea. I like this. It's great.
Okay, so you like it here.
Oh, yeah. This is like a great series to add it to.
It is weird when it's like everyone in the scene is singing along and not like,
the only complaint I have about it is that, like, I want them to be singing it. Like, I want them to sing it like it's a stage play. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to be diegetically in it. I don't like... We're doing like a montage, and like it's fun that they have it sing, but like I don't like it so much as a montage. I want it to be a scene, you know?
No, I think I prefer the montage. Like, just get it over with, so I can
just get it over with. See, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
like everybody hates this.
Pay attention as closely when it's the singing part.
Musicals are good.
Necessarily,
okay?
They're fine. I guess.
You need to know that what is wrong with musicals, huh? What do you got against them? You hate whimsy. You just hate fun. You don't like it when people express their emotions in big ways.
Maybe I just don't listen to lyrics. I just like listening to how things sound and not what they're saying. So when it's a musical, it's just like, okay, when can we get to the part where we talk about things happening again?
Awful.
Sorry to disappoint.
I did note that in the foreshadowing, we get a picture of Alon, who's the guy who will be in the army later. And let me tell you, they made him a scrawny little tiny baby, and I hate him. He sucks.
He doesn't have a little
he's not cool
chin or whatever.
He's not manly and big. He's like tiny and he's like a waif. I could like blow him away in the wind. Awful.
Yeah, I guess like everyone like generally looks cutesy, but like at the cost of people looking distinct.
Like the cutesy part works when they're young. It starts working less well for me the later this movie goes on.
That's true.
Anyway, after the opening, we get Oscar and Andre sword fighting. Then Oscar explains how she got her job and how her current assignment is to protect Marie, and she's totally on board with it. We don't need to be angsty about this at all. We're good. Then she's like, I'll need your help, Andre. And he's like, yes, of course, Oscar. I'll always stay by your side. I'm Andre. I stay by your side. This is our introduction to Andre.
Mm-hmm. He's got like lashes for days. His eyelashes are out of control, which I guess it's like, dudes always have the pretty eyelashes. But yeah, because the beginning, the intro and stuff, it's like basically giving us the 4 main characters, even though Andre like is barely a character for a long time in this.
I will say this does match what the manga does. Like the manga also opens on this basically with Oscar being like, I'm gonna be whatever. I saw her today and she looked pretty good. The TV show gives us a whole like Oscar is like angsty and uninterested. So that's a difference. But that seems to be an adaptation of the TV show that I think is pretty good.
Yep.
We meet the General Jarges or whatever, and Granny, who has become a tiny woman. She's a tiny cartoon woman now. I think it's pretty good. She reminds Andre that he's a commoner and that Oscar's a noble. Hey guys, remember this class structure. We'll mention it like 2 or 3 more times. This is important, she says, even though it doesn't really end up being all that important. I have in the summary. We get another song. Marie sings us through the first major arc in a pretty good looking montage. This part, she sings about how she loves being rich and everybody loves her, and I'm sure that'll last. There's nothing bad will happen. Marie, what did you think about this song?
It was fine. We only get a glimpse of Madame Dewberry.
She's looking less hot.
And I know, you can't be hot when you're adorable in this show, I guess.
She's not hot.
Yeah, it's why. Oh, you know what? I just realized Duke Orleans isn't even a character.
Duke Orleans is not it. We don't have any villains in this movie.
No,
none of them. We don't have Polignac. We don't have Jean. We don't have Robespierre or Saint-Just. We got none of them.
Nope, just romantic woes.
Yep, it's all the romance. And we don't even, and very little of the actual revolution. It kind of comes out of nowhere, to be perfectly honest. I'll have bigger things to say about that later. I like this musical number. I wrote, hell yes. I said it had My Little Pony energy, because it extremely does, where she just starts singing about what she's doing. I did say it's extremely hard to follow. This is where I'm like, if you didn't know the plot already, are you going to understand what's happening here? Because they do a scene with Dewberry where, like, Marie's forced to talk with her, and then she talks to her, and then she like cries and runs away. And I'm like, I know what that means because I watched the show or read the manga. Does anybody else have any idea what that means? It's just like a weird thing that happens.
Yeah, especially if this is more, so it seems like this movie is more fan service for the people who watch it rather than trying to bring in new fans of the show.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This movie did well. I don't think I said this, but this movie apparently did pretty well in the box office. It was numbered 9 out of 10 when it debuted, which I think for like a animated compilation movie is pretty good. On their like YouTube, they have like a Rose of Versailles movie YouTube. They're like a video that's like, thanks everybody for making this movie a big hit. So I guess they think it's a big hit. Apparently it made like $1.5 million opening. So that's good, I guess. I don't know. So people like this movie. It seemed to do pretty well.
We'll take any shoujo wins we can get.
I guess, yeah. And they keep updating that YouTube channel, so they got enough money to pump out some more small videos. 3 years pass.
Abruptly.
Maria's like, hey, how come my husband doesn't like me? And Oscar's like, he'll come around. Marie says that she just wants to have a real love affair, not this boring crap. She wants real joy in her life. It's the only thing that she wants. But Oscar tells her that she has a real job now that she's Queen of France. She'll have a duty to serve the people. And Marie is like, wow, Oscar, if you were a man, I would be in love with you.
Oscar just shrugging off the compliments.
Oscar does not care.
Unfazed.
We cut to Marie and her friends leaving to go to a masquerade ball over Oscar's protests. Marie's like, come on, Oscar, come on, look at me. I'm just a little sweetie. You can let me go, right, Oscar? Come on. And then she lets her go. It's at this point I have decided that this version of Oscar is not cool and she's lame as hell.
No.
She's done nothing cool so
far. She
looks
looks very pretty, but yeah, everything just feels like grand gestures without the context, so it all feels empty-ish almost.
She has big hall monitor energy, Because like in the show, she's cool. She's like already dueled Ghirardelli. She's like doing backflips and stuff. She's like she's kind of being a scamp, being like, ugh, I don't want to have to babysit this royal. You know what I mean? This version of Oscar is like, You can't go to the masquerade, Marie. It's past your bedtime.
Yep, that's how she is. That how she sounded in the English dub?
No, she sounded normal in the English dub, but that's how she should have sounded. That's how I heard it, you know? Anyway, we go to the masquerade ball and we get another song. I like this song.
I don't like that everyone has the same mask. Everyone should have cool masks.
Yeah, the montage isn't that good. I do like this song because it has like the echoey, like everybody's singing in like a big hall. And that makes sense because they're in a masquerade ball and everyone's singing about how great it is to go to a ball because you can like do whatever you could be uncouth. You could do whatever you want because nobody knows who you are. And I'm like, hell yeah. At the ball, Fersen meets Marie. Fersen just isn't wearing a mask in this scene. Like, he bumps into her and her mask falls off. He was just never wearing one.
He's too handsome to hide that face, I guess.
I don't think he knows what a masquerade ball is. This is embarrassing, Fersen.
He's Swedish. It's just a French thing, I guess.
I guess.
Maybe he's just like no fun. And he's like, I feel silly and I'm not going to play with the fun theme.
He is kind of no fun in this movie.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. The two of them meet outside on the balcony. Fersen tries to learn who Marie is, but Oscar intervenes and they all introduce themselves to each other. We get the scene basically in the same way as we got it in the TV show, which is like, she holds her sword up to his throat and is like, state your business. And he's like, well, you should introduce yourself first before sticking your sword at my throat. And she's like, I'm Oscar. And he's like, I'm Fersen. And then Oscar's like, that's Marie. Make an appointment to see her, loser.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. And he does. We get several scenes of Fersen hanging around with Marie at Versailles, just hanging out.
Nothing else to do but hang out with a married woman.
Suddenly, Marie is on horseback and her horse has ridden off. Oscar comes to rescue her and tackles her off her horse into the grass. It's at this point, nowhere. I have decided that this movie is impossible to follow.
It's not for people who haven't seen the show, I guess.
I cannot imagine what it would be like if I had not seen the show. I would be so confused as to why this is happening. What has happened?
I know they're cutting out on all the unlikable parts about Marie Antoinette. We don't want her to be a brat so that we can cheer for her death later on.
That's the real tragedy, is that we have to like her.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Dude, even the manga, I gotta say, like at the beginning, when Maria Theresa is like, I gotta send my daughter off to be the Queen of France, she's just like, dang, my daughter, who knows nothing and is boring and is kind of an idiot. Her? I gotta send her off? I don't know if this is a great move. It's very funny. She just like lays into her. It's so good. Not this movie, no. This movie is very on her side. Up until it just isn't. It's weird. Anyway, Andre is called before the king and sentenced to death for his poor horse handling skills. Oscar shows up and says no. Andre did nothing wrong. As his master, I'll take his punishment instead. And then Fersen shows up and says, I also vouch for Andre. He did nothing wrong. And then Marie shows up and says, I vouch for Andre. He did nothing wrong. And King Louis is like, fine, whatever. Andre did nothing wrong. I'll just drop the whole thing. And then Oscar immediately drops on the floor from her sudden grievous wounds that she got when she jumped off that horse.
But it's just a bruise. No branch impaling her.
I gotta say, with no context, it does kind of seem like it's Andre's fault. I do kind of agree with the king being like, yeah, it seems like he sucks with his horse.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's not true, everyone. It's her. She wasn't listening to the writing instructions.
My literal note here is, why are they making King Louis look like a normal guy instead of a dickhead?
Because he's there for 5 seconds, I guess. That's
true. He is there for 5 seconds. We're speedrunning Fersen here also.
Yes. We're speedrunning everything.
It's true. Oscar gets her wounds dressed at home. Granny shoos Andre and Fersen out, and Fersen's like, why do we gotta leave? And Granny tells him that Oscar's a lady, so he has to get out. She can't change in front of him. And Fersen's like, what? Oscar's a woman? I had no idea. She sure seemed like a true man to me. This scene has no juice, because why would he know? He's met Oscar like 2 times.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be a big reveal.
It has no impact.
I don't like that word.
It's got no meaning. It's sauceless. This is a dry ass scene.
Okay. Yeah, Oh, God. Okay, there's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. Later, Andre thinks about how Oscar stuck up for him, and he's like, I hope this doesn't develop into feelings that cause me despair. The narrator then tells us that in 1774, King Louis died, and Marie and Louis XVI ascend to the throne. We get a scene of the nobles congratulating them while they're scared and sad that their dad died. This is the point where I realize we are not getting Madame Dewberry, and I put no Dewberry in huge capital letters.
Tragic. Oh my God, you put juice again. No.
This scene also means nothing to me because it's like why are they sad? Why are they afraid? It's weird. No impact on the scene. Remember the TV show when this was like a cool moment where like they're scared and like sad about their granddad dying and everyone else is like congratulating them and Ghirardelli is just like, dang man. Also, I forgot to say this. His name is Ghirardelli, like J instead of Ghirardelli, like G. I'm gonna keep saying Ghirardelli because I hate that and I don't want to take a loss, but definitely supposed to be a J. But yeah, he's like, yeah, nobles don't care about people. They just care about power. Pretty messed up, huh? That scene made sense in the TV show, and here it's just like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Ugh. We get a new song about them becoming the new king and queen, and I don't like this song. In English, I think it's pretty bad, and in Japanese, I think it's whatever.
I don't recall it at all.
And it's very nothing. They're like, we see him like do the little ascend to the throne thing. He gets a little hat and like a little scepter. And then we cut to like people dance around a bonfire. It's forgettable. We get a scene where Marie tries to give Oscar a raise, but Oscar informs her that France's finances are bad. So I don't know, don't do that. And Marie's like, well, that's the first I'm hearing of it. Well, anyway, can I give you something else, Oscar? And Oscar says that she wishes that Marie will become a wonderful queen. And Marie is like, oh, that's very sweet of you. And then she's like, hey, you, me, Fersen, and Andre should totally have tea sometime because we're just Andre's
Double
in the crew.
date.
Yeah. Oscar out of nowhere just brings up France's bad financial situation. It's very weird.
What am I supposed to say? There's a lot of like abrupt, no sense for people with no context here.
It's true. Outside, we're introduced to Ghirardelli as a character. He was the alternative candidate to being captain of the Royal Guard, but Oscar got it. And also, he's kind of a brat. In the English dub, he's totally a brat.
His hair isn't as pretty as it is in the show.
He's not as luxurious. It's sad. Later that night, Andre is like, I get to come to tea time too? That's crazy. I'm a commoner. And Oscar says that Marie just does things without thinking about the political implications. That could be a problem. And Oscar is like, nah, nothing'll happen. Whatever. Oscar says that she has to do something tomorrow. It's tomorrow, and Oscar comes out wearing all white everything. All of a sudden, Fersen rolls up on her and tells her that he's come to say goodbye. It turns out him being around Marie is beginning to start some rumors, so I guess I should skip town. Which is interesting, because I haven't heard of any rumors, Fersen. But I guess that's happening. Fersen sings this little song about how much he loves Marie. I like it when Fersen sings.
They're pretty good singers.
Yeah, Fersen's good at singing. Oscar is like, cool, man. I was literally just about to go tell you that you should leave France. You aren't subtle at all. Everybody knows that you guys are hooking up or whatever. Then Fersen says that he is surprised to learn that Oscar was a woman. Regardless of gender, he thinks of her as a trusted friend, and then they shake hands and part ways. Sure hope this doesn't become something bigger all of a sudden. Later, Marie learns that Fersen has left France and she's sad. We get another montage of Marie forgetting her sorrows by buying stuff and going to the opera and gambling. I like montages of Marie Antoinette doing stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, no Polniak
Yep.
Acknowledgement.
Nope. She's there. We just don't say anything. Later, Oscar is like, Marie, you can't keep spending money and promoting all your friends and stuff. It's expensive and it's a bad look. And Marie responds by saying, come on, it's cool, whatever, dude. We cut to a montage where the narrator tells us that the people of France are starving in the streets while Marie is hanging out spending money. It's 1778 and Fersen's back to visit Oscar. He tells her that he's here to find a wife and Oscar's like, I'm still single. Just kidding. She says nothing.
But out of nowhere is all like, oh, feelings.
Yeah, but we're feeling some kind of way about it, I guess. Later that night, Oscar thinks about how she's caught feelings for Fersen somehow in between all the montages. At court, Fersen tells Marie that he's got to find a wife, and she is not here for it. Later, she wanders around in the woods, where she runs into Fersen, who is also sad, wandering around in the woods. He can't marry Marie, but, like, I guess that's for the best. And then they run into each other's arms and decide that they actually cannot be apart anymore. And then they sing a song about being in love. In a weird twist, I like the English version of the song better.
Oh, man. This is a very strange recap.
This is not doing it for you?
This is like so different than our normal format because it's just like nothing to talk about.
I can't show
us anything.
Normally I do like an in-depth, like here's the different scenes we go through, but if I did that with this movie, I would be here forever because there's a million scenes in this movie because each scene lasts 2 seconds and we skipped 5 years in between all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Oscar walks around and hears rumors about Marie and Fersen hooking up. Notably, Oscar's wearing red now, and her red uniform looks pretty good in this version, actually. I'm into it.
Yeah, they changed some of the uniforms a bit.
This is an improvement. Oscar goes to tell Marie to break up with Fersen. She says it's undermining your position as queen. Also, stop spending money when people are starving to death. It's a bad look. And I noted that in this scene, we get a top-down camera shot, and the carpet is enormous and cool. Good carpet in this room.
Okay. I did not make note of that. But you know what? I did at some point. It might be later on, but there's like a portrait in the Charget mansion that has like a turkey as like the main centerpiece. And it's a bunch of birds hanging out with it.
Oh, I did not notice that.
It's so funny.
I do this. The background scenery is pretty good, especially like in Versailles.
Yeah, I mean, like Versailles looks much more impressive here than it was depicted in the show. Like the scale of it, and yeah, like it's a very good-looking animated series. You know, it does have the 3D thing happening with the horses.
I do not like the 3D.
No one could just put horses 2D.
Nobody can draw a horse anymore. You gotta render it in Blender or whatever now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back in the scene, Marie is like, thank you, Oscar. I get why you'd say I should stop spending money while people are starving, and also I should break up with Fersen. But I was hoping that, you know, as a woman, you'd understand why I'm like this. But you just don't get it, do you, Oscar? Oscar, I was basically a political hostage, forced to become the Queen of France. I'm a victim too. So why can't I be in love with Fersen? It's only fair. It's the only thing I have left in my youth for myself.
I kind of feel like they actually if they did one thing better, and this might be like more as we get further in the recap, better example of this, but I think better than in the show we watched. In the movie, I think they do a good job of like comparing, like obviously they have very different situations, but it's similar how they were like directed to be a certain way. And then like are desiring things that are in conflict with that predetermined path for themselves.
Yeah.
And,
no, I agree.
that they should be able to more like relate to each other, I guess, than we see in the show.
Yeah, the parallel.
Not that it's super elaborated here. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like they mirror each other really nicely in this, in that way, and I think that makes sense to being like these are the two Roses of Versailles, and this is why it's both of them. This is the thing they have in common. This is kind of an insane. It's not an insane thing for Marie to say about herself. It's insane how little pushback this gets from anything else. To be like, Marie is being framed as a victim, and we're not really like doing any. There's no context added to that to like talk about how maybe she's the most privileged woman in the world right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like a big, well, I guess we'll talk about that later, but a big part of that is that we don't have the Rosalie parallel at all, and I think that hurts it.
Tragic.
Yeah. Oscar leaves thinking to herself that she had no idea Marie Antoinette, the richest, most privileged woman in the world, was suffering so much. In the background, she starts singing a song about how she's a bad friend.
Okay. Is this where she like cries? They make Oscar cry
she
too
cries
much
so
in this.
much. Why does she cry so much?
Everyone's crying so much. Everyone. Andre, Fersen, everyone's sobbing.
Everyone's
constantly.
sad.
It's too much.
It's Oscar, I'm not being very womanly.
Where's our character's strength?
No. In a carriage, Oscar tells Andre that this whole time she was protecting Marie's body, but wasn't protecting her heart. She goes to see Fersen, and Fersen tells her that he's decided to never marry. He wants to hang around Marie as much as possible, and Fersen is driven to tears thinking about the agony of being close to Marie, yet being so far. And Oscar is like, "Dear Lord, how could such a tragedy happen? Is this what love truly feels like?" Why is Oscar here? I ask myself, why did she go see Fersen?
I don't know, because I was like, maybe he summoned her and we just don't get that context.
It's very interesting, but okay. Fersen does his big cry now.
I can see a world where it's like no one likes Fersen because he's distracting the queen, and so Oscar, he just like calls on her to have someone to talk to while being super insensitive to her feelings.
Not only is she his most trusted friend, she is his only friend.
Yeah, so I can't see him and Marie talking deeply about any of their concerns.
No.
They just stare at each other.
They just stare in silence. Speaking of things that just kind of happened, we cut to Oscar showing up to a ball all dolled up in a dress because she's a woman now. She dances with Fersen. They dance while another song plays about being in love and choosing your own way. During this montage, we see Oscar flee like it's Cinderella. Me, all caps, nightmare movie. What if there was no context to anything ever?
This is just like a promo for their animation ability.
Is the song so like okay, here's the thing I don't like about musicals when they do. I don't like it when you give important plot beats in a song. I think a song should be used to like enhance something or like describe a situation or like the feeling of a thing or like your emotions or like to capture the essence of a place. I don't like it when big plot points are being revealed in the song and that's like the purpose to deliver exposition. This song is kind of like this because it's like we're trying to explain that Oscar has a crush on Fersen all of a sudden, but like there's just no other way to figure that out from this context.
Especially if you don't pay attention to the songs like me.
Especially because, like, the last thing he said is how he wants to be with Marie forever. And then Oscar does this, and it's weird juxtaposition to be like, if a guy declared his love for your friend and then you immediately go after him, that's weird.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Again, with the not supporting each other thing.
Yeah. We get the rest of the song, and it's pretty good. Everyone sings about how they try to live their life according to their heart. It turns into a big like cast
is this where they're
ensemble.
all holding a rose and yeah.
Like it starts off with the ball and then it ends in the cast ensemble. That's fun. Love an ensemble song. We cut to the narrator explaining that the American Revolution is happening. It's
just the most dramatic, like
it's like here we go. The American Revolution. It's expensive. Also, there's a big famine happening in France. The narrator existing just to deliver bad news is very funny to me. Where it's just like, elsewhere in the world, everything is going to shit. And it's going to do this like 3 more times.
Well, yeah, it's like the only thing giving us any direction, I guess.
It's the only way you know this is about the French Revolution. 7 years pass. We jump ahead 7 years, and everything has gotten real bad in Paris. Small children are being shoved in the street. It's that bad. Andre's like, damn, I sure am glad Granny adopted me. Otherwise, I'd be like these sad people on the street. And Oscar is like, yes, things are pretty bad. And this is where I learned that Andre was adopted?
That was never mentioned in the show.
No.
So I don't know if they just made that up or not.
I don't know.
Is that true?
They haven't mentioned it in the manga yet, but I'm only 3 chapters in. So.
Yes. Well, I feel like Andre is a character they wouldn't have given enough context about, but
that's true. I will say,
yeah, that's wild.
In the manga, Andre just shows up in like a random panel. Someone just calls him and he shows up. Like there's no grand entrance to Andre like there is for Fersen or anybody else. It definitely seems like he's a background character
it's
until
just
he's not.
Afterthought, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Oscar and Andre's carriage comes to a stop. They walk up on a scene where a nobleman is accusing a child of trying to pickpocket him. A woman with a lot more character detail than anybody else in the scene tries to de-escalate the situation, but the noble is indignant and says he's going to execute this child in the street. This is a character that I love named Rosalie. She doesn't get a name in this movie, and she also doesn't make any other appearances. Rip Rosalie.
Oh, Rosalie, your hair's so fluffy in this.
I know. Your character design was made for this style, and you don't get to be in this movie. Rip to you. Devastating.
Yeah. Her sister doesn't exist either.
Yeah, Jean doesn't.
Even more tragic.
They introduce Jean and Rosalie in chapter 2 of the manga. Like, they hit the ground running on that. Yeah. Like, it's like real quick, and like it's real upfront. Anyway, Oscar comes onto the scene, is like, hey, maybe don't do this, my lord. Suddenly, someone in the crowd throws a rock at the noble. It starts seeming like these commoners aren't cool with him just executing a child in the middle of the street. Guys start showing up to beat the nobleman up, but Oscar gets between them, the crowd, and the noble. And at this point, I don't like Oscar at all. I want the crowd to beat this guy, beat Duke Guimine's ass. That's who this is. We don't know who this is, but that's who this is. And Oscar defends him. Oscar defends this guy. He's gonna shoot a child point blank in the street, and she comes to the nobleman's rescue. This sucks.
Yeah, Oscar. Well, Oscar doesn't have any of the like background to her convictions and stuff, so she's just more of like how they talk about her as like a decorative doll in the show. That's what she actually is here in the movie.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have
awful
drive.
Doesn't have drive. This is why she has hall monitor energy. Terrible. Oscar and Andre start to get into a fight while the nobleman rides away. Oscar is about to get whacked in the head, but Andre takes the blow instead.
God.
He's going to do this several times, and it's funny every single time. He is struck in the eye and starts bleeding. Suddenly, a man shows up and tells everybody to stop fighting. It's Bernard, and he tells the crowd if they beat up Oscar and Andre, two grown adults, they're just as bad as that nobleman who was going to shoot a child in the middle of the street. Which, okay, Bernard.
This movie is this is
the morality
crazy.
of this movie is so goofy. It's so cartoony. Then Bernard gives a speech about how they should all be cool guys, and the crowd disperses. Bernard gives Oscar his card and then leaves.
No Black Knight.
No Black Knight. Bernard doesn't get to be cool. This is one of two fights Oscar gets in. It is against a bunch of random commoners. This is also how we're going to do the eye thing with Andre in just like a random moment of being on the side of authority.
No nothing. That's this movie. Just no nothing.
This is why I'm saying it has no impact. It's got nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like it's stuff happening on screen.
See, and then people are going to think this is what shoujo is. No depth.
I can't believe
It's
Bernard
just
is
about
like,
pretty sparkly eyeballs.
if you beat up these two people, you're just as bad as that nobleman who's going to shoot a child. I'm like, Bernard, these are not the same. First off, they weren't going to kill Oscar and Andre. And second off, Oscar and Andre are adults. What are you talking about? Crazy. Just off its rocker on this.
We just had to get through this.
At home, we learn that Andre is going to lose sight in his eye. Oscar blames herself and regrets helping the noble. If only she'd known that people would be mad about executing a child. How could she learn such things about the world? She decides to do her homework and reads Rousseau's The Social Contract and learns about class consciousness. We cut to Oscar telling Marie that she's going to be transferred to the French Guard to be amongst the people now, because she's here for the people, okay? She read one book and became a communist. Outside, Girardel is like, why do this, Oscar? And Oscar says that she needs to be amongst the people. Back at the Jarget's estate.
I don't even want to talk about it. Just carry on.
Back in the Jarget's estate, General Jarget orders Andre to join the French Guard to keep an eye on Oscar. I'm going to order you to do this, Andre. You're not going to do this of your own volition. I'm sure this won't have any subtext consequences. Anyway, Andre's like, sure, boss. I'll do that. Oscar and Andre join the French Guard. She tells him that he doesn't need to follow her around, but he says that there's no place he'd rather be. They go to the grounds. But they don't find any French guardsmen. They're all at the barracks and refuse to take orders from some woman. Oscar shows up at the barracks And Alon, one of the French guardsmen, declares that they won't take orders from a lady. Boys rule and girls drool. Don't you know that, Oscar? And Oscar's like, okay, fine. One-on-one me, punk. I'll take you on. And Oscar says game, and they go out, and Alon says game, and they go out to duel. This is my note that all of the French guard looks like pretty boys. They're not rough and tumble at all.
Okay.
They look terrible.
Oh my God, Joe.
What?
They freaking have like two characters that they give little names to that are like, I don't know if they're supposed to be like comic relief because one of them has like a bland cartoon face that's supposed to make us like him for some reason. Why?
I hate that kid. That kid gets shot and I clapped. I hate that little rat boy. Oh
my God.
Also, Alon just being openly sexist sucks. He was not like that in the TV show. In the TV show, the rest of the guys were sexist, and he was just like, I don't know. Seems like they're not going to listen, huh?
Don't even talk about it being because she's noble.
Yeah, they don't. That's because class is gone. We're not going to address class anymore in this movie. It's over. Just in time for the French Revolution, where famously class does not matter. Anyway, in the background, they sing a song about being warriors, and this song is pretty all right. Oscar and Alon fight what I can only describe as a totally normal sword fight, and it sucks.
Because he doesn't have his cool sheath thing.
He does the coolest thing ever in the TV show. It's a cool-ass fight in the TV show, and this is a boring-ass fight in the movie. Whatever. This movie isn't about sword fights. It's fine. But I was super disappointed. Please note my disappointment here. Oscar wins, and Alana is a sore loser about it because he sucks. She declines to punish the men though because she doesn't want to punish her troops. This is going to come up several times. This is something I should have paid attention to and didn't. Elsewhere, Marie is hanging out with her husband and 3 children? ? King Louis is like, isn't it nice to hang out with me and our 3 children? And Marie says, yes, it's nice to hang out with you and our 3 children. Time sure does pass, huh?
We never saw them all together ever. The show. No locks.
Goes.
No lock. Crafty.
God. Yeah, he doesn't do any lock stuff. King Louis seems like a cool guy here, Louis the 16th, instead of a loser. Like we all know he was. Even in real life, we know he was a loser. How dare they do this? King Louis goes to read a letter that tells him that Marie's children actually belong to Fersen. It's Fersen's children. She's been cheating on him. She rushes to him and says, that isn't true. I would never bang Fersen, even though I really, really, really wanted to. And King Louis says, I know, babe. I trust you. No one has a hat. What? No one with a hat that cool could be a cheater because she's wearing a pretty good hat. Marie's got pretty good hats in this movie.
Oh my God. Just like when you get confused by your own notes.
Yeah. Nobody with a hat that cool could be a cheater. Which is true.
Who wrote this note?
I don't know. What is this? What is this plot? Why does this happen? What is this? Why is this in the movie? Also, why do they make King Louis seem like he's a cool guy? He's like, I trust my wife. I'm a wife guy now. No, you're not. Shut up. Hate him.
Why is he the character that gets the most? This whole movie.
He gets to be normal. I'm like, at the end of this movie, I'm like, King Louis was like the most normal guy there. How come he gets executed?
The only character that gets more like development in the movie than the show.
Anyway, the narrator tells us that the economy's in shambles. People are rioting and stuff. It's gotten pretty bad. We cut to Oscar coming home. Granny tells her that somebody has come to request to marry her, and Oscar is like, hell no. She goes to see who it is, and it's Girardel. He greets her as his captain, which is super cursed. Why would he do that? Why would he be like, hey, captain, I'm come to marry you? Awful. I hate this kid. Oscar is like, this sucks, but Girardel persists, and Oscar is in shock that this is happening, but she rejects him anyway. I hate Girardel in this version. I hate movie Girardel. He sucks.
I hated this in the TV show. What are you talking about? You're like, oh, he's not so bad. I was like, I hate him.
In the TV show.
When it happened then.
Yeah, but in the TV show, he was like obviously kind of scared of Oscar. So he's like trying to do this, but he definitely is like, oh dude, she totally hates me. Like, have you ever had a friend who's like gonna ask out like a hotter chick and you're like, there's no way. This is such a bad idea. And you can tell they know it's a bad idea. That was what it was in the show. This is like, what if he just shows up and sucks?
And he's not even as cute.
It's bad. Later, Oscar anxiously tunes her violin, rip the piano. She's like, what am I supposed to do? Start acting like a woman now? I've been acting like a man for so long. I can't just switch. I like acting like a guy. We get another song that has a flashback to earlier in the movie, leading up to flashbacks to the thing that happened in the last scene. Oscar,
in case you
forgot, my favorite thing to do. Oscar snaps one of the violin strings and thinks about what she should do. Elsewhere, Andre is going totally blind for some reason. He thinks about how he has never once told Oscar that he's secretly in love with her, and he's running out of time before he's blind. This sucks. He thinks about the book he read about a commoner and a noblewoman falling in love. It didn't work out in the story. Love only gets fulfilled in death. It's gonna be like my life. This book is like my life.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry I have this energy. This movie riles me up.
Or to Andre. What is happening?
Why is it happening?
Oh my god.
I feel like I'm taking damage. I feel like I am like being assaulted from these scenes. These scenes hit me like a brick.
Your face is so red.
This is why my notes are like this, because I had such manic energy as I got through the movie. Like, they started off kind of normal, and then they just degraded to being like, well, shit, man, I guess I'm going blind.
Oh my god. Okay, the Romeo and Juliet vibes are crazy.
I don't remember what the name of the book he was talking about, but it's very funny to be like, my situation is just like this book. Anyway,
oh my god.
He goes to give Oscar some wine and he sees that she's reading that book he just mentioned and is crying. It's a sign.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god, Joe. Okay, no, sorry. Keep going. You're right. Oh
she says that she wasn't fond of the book last time she read it, but now she's really into it. I wonder if it's a sign. I have a note here that Oscar is wearing a disco-ass looking outfit. It's good. I like this outfit.
Bell-bottoms are crazy.
She's got a bell-bottom. She's got sash. She's got big puffy sleeves. Oscar's ready to go out. Bring back disco. Oscar's ready to hit the club. It's so good. Oscar and Andre take their drinks, because I guess Andre is also drinking. While Oscar reminisces about the good old days when Andre was first adopted and they hung out as kids. She's like, you've been there for me ever since the beginning, huh? Well, cheers to you, Andre. And she goes to drink from her glass, but Andre looks at her intensely. She starts to drink, but he says no. He shoves the glass from her hand and they both tumble down into a position where he's pinning her to the ground. She looks up at him like, what the heck, man? But he just apologizes and cleans up the glass.
Okay, I don't think you interpreted the scene the same way I did. I think he was trying to poison the both of them and die together.
Is that what was happening?
That's what was happening, right?
It seems like that's what's happening. But that doesn't make any sense. The thing is, like, this is, like, it seems like he's preventing her from drinking it, like, because it's going to kill her, right? Like, that's what on screen looks like what's happening. But, like, did we see him put poison in there?
No!
Why would he do that?
But he's all dramatically like, oh, I'm, reading the book and shit. And
like he's like, oh, we can only be happy in death, and so I'm gonna kill us both right now.
Something. He totally just tried to poison her, and then psych, JK, take it back.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's not. I didn't know how to interpret this.
Actually, nothing makes sense.
I didn't know how to interpret this. That does make more sense because I'm just like, she's kind of a jerk. Okay, the thing that happens in the TV show when this parallel, I mean, the TV show is different. What he actually does is it's not as good. It's kind of worse. But like, well, maybe it's not as worse as literally killing her and him. She's about to abandon him is what happens in the show. In this, she's like reminiscing on their childhood, which is like the thing you would do before leaving. I guess he was just gonna kill them both. This is impossible to parse. Why wasn't there a scene where he like puts poison in the glasses? Like, why wasn't it clearly on screen? This movie has zero subtlety in it. It tells you exactly what's going on at all points in time. It shows up and is like, this movie is about two roses, Oscar and Marie. That's the metaphor.
Nothing happens off screen. The world pauses.
Why is the
when
only
we're not
thing
at it.
that happens that is important a thing that happens off screen?
Don't understand.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you for helping with that, because I'm just like, I don't know.
That's what I think.
Don't toast to me, Oscar.
How I interpret it.
I'm gonna knock you down in a cutesy way.
No.
Later, he curses himself and thinks about how much she loves him. How dare he almost do something? I guess, how dare I almost murder-suicide myself and the woman I love, which is, I'm gonna say that's worse than the thing in the movie. Wasn't gonna murder-suicide her there. Anyway. At this point, I have a big note, all caps. How do we still have 40 minutes left in this movie? We still have 40 minutes left in this movie. We gotta start going fast.
Movie.
We cut to the barracks where Oscar's lieutenant tells her that all of her men... God! All of her men sold their guns and are now in trouble.
All of them!
This part is so funny. They're all in trouble with the general. She rushes out and sees the general yelling at the men. She says that there must be a mistake. There's no way that my entire company of soldiers would have all sold their guns. That would be unbelievably stupid as a plot point, even for this movie. But Alon says, "Oh, Oscar, you naive fool. We totally did all sell all of our guns, and we're really proud of it. We all got like $20."
Oh my god, I'm dying.
We all got $20. Why does this happen?
I'm crying.
Oh my god. I was losing my mind. We all got $20 and we can use it to help our families now. Oscar is like, oh no, how did I not know that their families needed money?
Sorry, I'm crying.
This is so funny. Like, you know how, to bring up Star Wars again, you know how in the sequel series that's terrible, in The Force Awakens, they tried to show you that the First Order is a bigger deal than the Empire by having, instead of the Death Star blow up one planet, they blow up 5 planets. This is like that. This is like, shit got real, because it wasn't just one guy who sold his gun, like in the TV show. It was the entire company. Can you imagine? It's like you own a pawn shop.
Joe, stop.
And like 40 people come in to sell their guns to you. It's just an armory. Oh my god. Okay, I'm back in it. Here we go.
Okay.
The general is like,
oh my god, it's not that funny.
The general is like, who cares about your family? You can't just sell your guns. Oscar asks the general to let her punish the men. She'll take care of it, boss. The men all yell at her. They want the general to punish her, not her leniency for some reason. The general says, that's enough. I'm going to put all of you in timeout for 1 week. You're all grounded. And Oscar's like, no, you can't ground them. But then he rides off. Alana's like, ooh, look at Oscar all sad about us being grounded. Oscar goes and slaps several of the men. Then she gives a speech about how she doesn't punish them because she believes that everybody should have their own freedom to choose their own lives in their hearts. Why are you all being so mean to me? I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be like your cool teacher. What's going on? All the men.
This is so awful.
This is horrible. All the men are like, damn, as Oscar apologizes for raising her voice. She says that she's gonna resign, but the men are like, oh no, we're just giving you a hard time, Oscar. You're our beloved captain now. We all secretly liked you. We'll agree to be grounded. It's cool. You're our captain now. And then everybody has a big cry about it. I wrote the words, I hate this like 10,000 times.
Why? Why are they doing this to Oscar?
This whole scene, they all sold their guns, which first off, like, can you imagine an entire army company all selling their guns? That would be a disaster. In the TV show, one guy sells his gun and they are going to execute him.
Does it? Yeah. And then they just, it's fine.
And the general of the army is like, I'm going to put you all in jail for 1 week. And I'm like, bro, are you serious?
Your face is so red.
Also, what is going on with Oscar here? Why is she like, I can't punish the men because they should all have freedom to choose things in their heart?
They all need to be
like,
punished.
Oscar, you're in the military. What are you talking about? Their freedom. They all just sold their guns to somebody. Like, those guns are somewhere. You don't know where they are. This is like a big deal. This matters.
Well, because we like have no time seeing Oscar with these people, so there's like no connection between them, and they're all giving us these sob stories, and then I just like Oscar. This is just not Oscar. Who is this?
She's such a wuss.
There's an impersonator. Yeah.
What is this?
Well, you could be.
The fact that she gives this speech and then immediately is like, sorry for yelling. I'm like, oh my God.
He like crumples on the ground crying in front of all of them.
Oh, embarrassing. This is so
awful.
bad. This is like, it feels even more like, even though this came out, 40 years later than the TV show, this feels like more gender regressive. This is being like, oh, a woman raising her voice. You got to apologize for that. You can't just let that stand. Awful. Also, she starts crying at the drop of a hat. Oh, God.
I mean, in her defense, the dudes do as well. So
that's true. That's true. I hate Alon. I hate movie Alon. I hate him. He sucks. He's like, look at Oscar not wanting us to get in trouble. What a loser. Like, he's gonna beat her up at the lunch. Like, he's gonna steal her lunch money.
Yeah, he's so cool in the show.
He's great in the show. Later, Oscar and Andre are hanging out, and Oscar tells him that he's a cool guy. Forget yesterday. That was pretty hard to interpret what was happening anyway. So let's just not think about it. And I'm like, cool, movie. I will stop thinking about it. Sometime later, Oscar tells Girardel that she can't marry him because there is someone else in her heart. And Girardel's like, is it Andre? And Oscar's like, how did you tell? And Girardel's like, well, there's only 4 guys in this whole movie, so it's gotta be one of them. Well, do you love him? And Oscar really considers this and says that she doesn't know. They were kind of like siblings this whole time. I've never really been one for childhood friend trope types, Like, that was never who I went with on the dating sims. Girardel's like, well, anyway, I guess it's curtains for me. I'm leaving the movie. If I can't marry you, if you like someone else, I'll withdraw my marriage proposal as a token of my affection to you. And Oscar's like, thanks. I hate this.
Yeah. Go away, Girardel.
Girardel withdraws his marriage proposal in like, it's like a weird power move because it really makes it seem like him as the man is granting her a favor instead of what she does in the show, which is basically just like, this is not happening. I'm going to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to take charge of my life. As opposed to this, where it's like, he's doing her a solid. Awful. This is why I'm like, this feels gender regressive to me. Ugh. Later, Oscar tells her dad that she's going to choose how to live her life from now on and let her heart guide her path. She's going to become the daughter of Mars, the god of war, she says, kind of out of nowhere. We get a song.
Is this where we see her mom?
No.
Her mom is more in the movie than she was in the show.
I have a note on that because it's incredible. We get a song about how Oscar's got no strings on her. They do the Pinocchio song. She gets a puppet song. Yep, yeah, I don't like this song. I like the visuals, though. The narrator tells us that the Estates General is happening now. Hey guys, remember the French Revolution that's happening? We see a bunch of historical events leading up to the tennis court oath. I'm not going to tell you what that is, though. People are getting restless in the streets, and Oscar is impressed that people are getting restless in the streets. She's like, dang, the delegates are really going for it. Oscar meets with Marie, and she tells her to rejoin the French Guard. Things have been going to shit, and I'm calling in the army, says Queen Marie, to put the commoners in their place. And Oscar is like, no, I'm on Team Commoner now. And Marie is aghast that Oscar would be on Team Commoner. Come on, Oscar, are you just pitying them or something? You gotta get back on Team King. He's backed by
Marie
God.
Is so like different now.
She's just like a totally different person out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Oscar. Yep.
No, just like she's so in at the beginning and then so not, and then like nobody. We don't have any good protagonists in this.
This is a movie.
We don't get our pirate guy either.
This is just a montage of plot points. Oscar thinks that Maria's become the image of a queen, and then Oscar says, "I'm not going to join the French Guards," and then leaves. This is the last time they ever talk. No impact. This is just a scene that happens. The narrator tells us that the army is here in Paris and everybody hates it. We then get a song about how everybody hates it. In the English version, I like Bernard singing. It's pretty good. We cut to Company B, which is the company that Oscar commands, being mad that they're going to be ordered to point their guns at the people. The commoners. They can't turn their guns on the commoners, and Oscar's like, don't worry, boys, I'm on Team Commoner now. It's cool, I'm going to go with you. And the men are shocked that their commander would command them in the field, and they decide to go defend the people. Later that night, Oscar tells Andre to stay behind because he can only see out of one eye, and he's like, no way, I'm staying right by your side. And she says, that's great. Then she rests her head on his shoulder and calls him warm, and he can barely see her now because he's going blind. Later at dinner, her father endorses Oscar following her heart, even if that means she becomes a revolutionary, I guess? Is that what happens in that scene? Okay. It really seems like he's like, I'm cool with you defecting to the revolutionaries, me, the general of the army.
No, I didn't super read into it that way, but I think it's just more of, look, I'm a cool dad. Look at me.
Anyway, her mom, who is not dead, says that she should just make it home, honey. And I was like, yay, Oscar's mom's here. Woo!
She doesn't have a flower in her hair. How are we supposed to know who she is?
That's true. She looks better, though, in the TV show, where she just looked like some random woman. Later that night, Andre brings Oscar some wine. She asks if he'd stay with her through the night, so I can be your wife. And Andre is like, holy shit, and then walks over.
he's all excited.
He's so excited. He's like a puppy. He falls to his knees and is like, really, Oscar? We get to have sex, even though I'm a commoner, and I'm becoming blind. I mean, I'm only half blind. And this is the point where I realized that they're not going to have sex in the woods, and I was sad. We're gonna talk about the intimate scene.
I hate. Okay, at least this is like the only time. Well, one of the only times she says I'm his wife. I think that's so much in the show.
Yeah, it's the worst part.
Thank God she doesn't just. Thank God she's not telling everyone she sees about it.
Oh my God, she's happy,
I don't know. I mean, okay, because when we have like the musical bit where it's Fersen and Marie Antoinette, they have this weird like we're flying in the sky like Greek gods thing, and now Oscar gets to have her version of that with Andre.
Okay, this is how the intimate scene goes. I have a play-by-play. He goes for the hug, but it's too much for Oscar. So instead he grabs her hand and then pulls her into an embrace, and they kiss and stuff, and they sing a little song about being in love. She's so sheepish. It's terrible. This is terrible. This is not intimate. That's my note about this.
Just I mean, not that this movie has done a good job at like convincing me of anyone's feelings on anything, but like, because even in the show, it felt very like out of nowhere that she was into Andre all of a sudden. And now this is even more so, where it's like, I don't think you have enough to sing about a whole song.
No.
With your love for him.
That being said, we get a pretty cool scene where the colors get all inverted and stuff while Oscar and Andre have sex. I was watching this movie, the first time I watched it, I was watching it with my friend Quan, and he described this as sex on Rainbow Road, which is incredible.
Shout out to Quan.
At one point, Oscar describes her relationship as
Gemini,
which is Castor and Pollux. Oscar, those are brothers, dude. What are you talking about? I get that you're like kind of a guy, but you're not like brothers with Andre. Come on. Anyway, any more thoughts about this? about the consummation of their marriage? The king does not approve of that, and therefore it means nothing to me.
That's just nothing means anything. This movie.
Oh, the narrator.
Sorry, this is our most manic episode ever. I don't know what's happening to us.
We're not like this normally. We always don't have like a laughing fit. Oh my God. They all sold their guns, Sarah. The narrator tells us that it's July 13th, the beginning of the end. We see Oscar and company head out on patrol. Elsewhere, people are engaging with the army and losing pretty badly. Oscar tells her soldiers that they need to follow their hearts and go help the people, and she convinces them all to defect, and they head out. At this point, it becomes clear that Company B is not a cavalry unit anymore.
No, and there's a lot more.
There's a lot of them, and they're all on foot. Also, Oscar seemingly just kind of defects all of a sudden. Also, she's convincing the commoners to defect in defense of themselves, which was weird. She's like convincing her own men to defect in defense of their own people. That was weird. This whole thing was weird.
I know. It's like, thanks, lady. we know.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, it turns out I'm not going to shoot.
Thanks for joining.
I'm not going to go out and shoot my grandma. Thank you, Oscar. On the way to the battle, Oscar tells Andre that they'll get married after this. They roll up on the Tuileries Square to help the people out. Marie and King Louis are informed that Oscar has defected and are shocked. The battle rages. Oscar is almost shot, but Andre takes the bullet instead in like the exact same maneuver he does when he gets hit in the eye.
Yeah. Deja vu, big time.
They drag him off, but he tells them to stop. I have a note that this fight's super lame because, like, instead of cavalry charges, which are fun and exciting, it's like line infantrymen lining up and shooting each other from 30 yards away. Did they do that in the city? Like, they did that in the field because normally they're fighting in a field.
Well, they're like in a square and they like had a barricade.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like open area. I mean, it felt very chaotic, that's for sure. So maybe they captured that better about like.
I actually don't know because I know that like
screaming.
We're very close to Napoleon, and I know that Napoleon does introduce some like different tactics, and maybe the like forming a square and all that stuff comes from him. I don't know, but this was fine, I guess. Also, I think this is like Andre dying in a lame way. It's just like they're not like leaning into the drama of him getting shot. Like in the in the TV show, it's like kind of out of nowhere and it's like shocking. And this is just like Oscar's about to get shot again.
Also the fact that they just copy pasted what happened like 20 minutes earlier reduces the impact even further.
Yeah, he just keeps doing this. Andre tells Oscar that she needs to get back into the fray. Oscar realizes that he's totally blind and gets upset because he's like feeling her face and stuff. She's like, why did you come here into battle if you couldn't see Andre? And Andre dies while seeing Oscar for one final time. And I will say that this is kind of a better send-off than the TV show in terms of like positivity. Like the TV show is really leaning into like the misery or like the tragedy of it. Whereas this is being like much more positive about it, which is, I think it's fine. I like it. Oscar is with a Pegasus here.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of like how in the show they have where he's imagining the portrait of her, and this is the like that here we're envisioning Oscar in his mind because he can't see her.
The narrator tells us that day ended. We get a scene of Oscar telling her men that they're going to storm the Bastille the next day. Everyone's doing it. We'll bring the cannons, but give me one moment to cry for Andre. And then she cries for a moment, and then she's like, all right, cool, we're good, let's go. We cut to the storming of the Bastille. It's a fortress, so it's going pretty bad for the people. They're getting wrecked, but then Oscar and co show up with the cannons and they start blasting. We get a song about storming the Bastille. I have a note that says, it's okay.
Yeah, because before I watched, you were like, we gotta rank these songs, and I was like, I am not gonna remember them enough to
my ranking is very easy.
But it just progressively gets worse.
The Masquerade song at the top, it's great. The second one where they are like, I'm gonna go my own way, that's good. And then the one that Fersen sings about Marie is good. And then the Marie montage one and all the other ones I don't remember at the end. Actually, I guess the soldier one's not that bad. Anyway, the battle rages at the Bastille. Eventually, the Bastille soldiers focus their fire on Oscar, and she's shot like 5 times in a death that is somehow goofier in the movie than in the TV show. Alon comes to her aid and drags her off. How'd you think about Oscar getting shot?
I liked it more than in the show. Okay. I don't know. She like gets shot and then falls on her butt, and it's weird. And
that's true. But
I don't know. I like this one. She like gets shot first and then still has a cool
dances around,
carry on, and then she gets lit up.
Yeah. Okay. Oscar, now dying, tells the men to finish the battle, and they all go back into position while Alon carries her off. Oscar wonders if Andre's death was quick. She asks Alon to set her down. She stares up at the sky, saying that Andre is waiting for her in the afterlife. The battle finally ends with a commoner victory. Yay! Alon tells her that they've won, and Oscar is happy. She congratulates her fellow Frenchmen and hope that they will live up to the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Maybe they'll even lay the foundation for the future of mankind, right, guys? And then she dies. We get one final scene of Oscar waking up in the afterlife to find Andre. They embrace as beings in the heavens as we cut to credits. And then we get one final post-credit scene of a field of roses, and the narrator says that to this day, these roses stand boldly, never fading in the everlasting light. The end.
I guess I like the ending more. The ending of the show is not very good.
The ending of the show is pretty bad. This movie at least like ends on the positive note. It kind of does the thing I thought the show was gonna do, which is like, well, at least like the ideas of the French Revolution live on and set the foundation for future stuff, which it did. So we can at least acknowledge that. The TV show just kind of ends. So this was good. I like this ending.
It's the best part of the movie is the end. It's over. Thank God.
So my big idea about this movie and why I like the TV show significantly more is that the TV show is a drama in terms of like, it deals with people that are trying to act, that are being portrayed as being realistic, even if they're like, you know, doing extraordinary things. They're like, think about the world in a way that makes sense from their position. They think about the specific context of what's going on. You know, different things come up and they react to it, and they have a character development, and they really care about their relationships between things, and it always kind of makes sense about why a character thinks a thing and does a thing, right? And all of that exists in the realm of drama, which is why it's good, which is why I love this. This movie exists in the realm of melodrama, where like Oscar isn't really a person. She's like emblematic of the idea of like, I don't even know, like transcending.
The idea isn't even explored though.
Like
the thing she's
transcending your position in society for the sake of love, right? And so like she does things that are emblematic of her representation of that, even though it doesn't make sense for her as a character to be doing that. It doesn't really make sense for anybody as a person to be doing any of the things that happen in this movie particularly. So this is like, this feels like a melodrama. Like everything is like melodramatic. She's like making speeches about how they have to defend the people kind of out of nowhere. She reads like one book on Rousseau and it's just like, I'm radicalized now, I guess. It's all very gesturing at like a story and like gesturing at characterization, but doesn't actually do it. Like it's not about the characterization. It's like we're just hitting the plot beats here, which is a different like way of doing things. And I like melodrama sometimes. Like it can be fun to be like, oh, this is like representing a thing. It's not so much about like the characters and like the kind of situations that they're in. But in this case, I think it's bad.
Well, they gave us such good characters, and then it's like a shame that we don't get them again, really. Because I guess if this is just more of a like characters we don't know, then this wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because we do know them from watching the show, it doesn't do the characters justice. Everybody's a big crybaby.
We got big emotions here.
But everyone's pretty. I will say everyone looks. This is in my mind. This is just. I don't know. What did you like find anything about why they made this, or like why Mappa, who seems to primarily do shonen, did this? Because it seems like I don't know. Or what are some other like recent old animes that have been? I guess Ranma. Maybe we're in like a thing. Like Ranma 1/2 is like coming back. So maybe we're just getting older.
Yeah, I mean we're definitely, you know, anime has gotten very much into remake mode that like I feel like America Cinema has been in for a long time. They're definitely trading in that now. So I do feel like this is trying to refresh a series that it was like historically very popular, right? Like this was a smash hit when it first came out. The manga was, and the TV show I think was also fairly popular. So it's like, oh, we can revive this franchise and it can ride as one of our franchises. I don't know why they made it one movie instead of multiple. Because I kind of feel like we're in the era of like multiple movies, right? Like there's a Demon Slayer movie and it's one arc of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, because it looks really good. I wish they would have just like either made a show or done, where like they have a show and break it up.
Yeah, like I thought they're gonna do like what they did for Neon Genesis Evangelion, you know, where it's like there's the TV show, but then there's gonna be 4 movies that we're gonna remake and change stuff, and that's what it's gonna be. And I thought they would do that. Instead, they made one movie, and it was extremely confusing.
Oh, I just remembered. No tuberculosis for Oscar.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler.
There's no like inevitability of their own deaths before
Yeah.
going into war. It's weird. It's yeah. I do feel like the transition from drama to melodrama is ultimately pretty bad for this series. I feel like the series thrives on the drama piece. I'm going to be really interested to like read the rest of the manga to see like, is the TV show like making the adaptation to be mostly a drama? Or is it like, was the original manga kind of like this, more like this movie, where it's like all these characters are just kind of these grand gestures at these ideas, as opposed to we're gonna sit, we're gonna have Oscar go to the countryside and try to help a little boy from dying by taking him to the doctor. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff Oscar is doing that like gets her to the point where she joins the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Nothing like that at all in this.
Well, I wonder if the trajectory of the show changed when they changed directors, and maybe like the show was never meant to get as well. No, I don't know. Like just a peculiar situation.
Yeah, like we don't have any of the early characterization of Oscar in the manga, and we don't have it in this movie. I mean, this movie like starts off more like how the manga starts off. Like you show up, you get the scene where she meets King Louis and she meets Louis the 16th, and then there's a procession, and then she goes to court, and that's basically what happens in the course of 3 chapters. We don't get any Oscar stuff. Andre just kind of gets randomly mentioned as a character who shows up. It's not getting that like deep characterization of like, this is what Oscar's whole deal is. Here's her beating Ghirardelli in a sword fight so she can become captain of the Royal Guard. Like we don't get any of that stuff, which is interesting because I feel like that's the best part.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the times, or at least now, if there's a remake, it's like better because it's cutting out all the extra stuff that was unnecessary or took away from the good parts of it. But this is like the opposite of that, where like it went into all the detail then and that was good, and now it's like taken. I don't know. This is just. I
feel like.
I guess it was well received. Maybe the people who received it had not seen the show.
That just seems impossible, though. How would you know what's happening? It's like. This movie is focusing way more on the romance aspect of it than the TV show did, right?
And the romance isn't even good.
But like, it doesn't focus. Yeah, it doesn't focus enough on it. I feel like if I was gonna make this movie as like more of a more coherent narrative movie, I feel like you just have to cut out most of this of the plot. Like you don't have to hit every plot point. You know what I mean? Like you don't. I think you skip ahead. I think you start off with them being adults. Like you can't do the horse scene, even though it's important because it's like, oh, this is where Oscar stands up for Andre in like a very public way and where he falls in love with her, right? Like I understand why that's important and you want to include that plot beat because it's important, but it doesn't fit in the movie. Yeah. So I took enormous psychic damage watching this movie. I watched it twice. But if you are a listener, we've been very hard in this movie. I'm sorry. If you're a listener and you're still with us, and this is like the first thing you've ever watched of the Rose of Versailles, and maybe you really liked it. Maybe this is like a great movie for you because you hadn't seen anything from this before, and like you liked the setting, and like the characters seem really interesting. I am begging you to go watch the TV show. I know it's old. I know it is in 3-4 resolution, but I'm telling you, if you like the characters and you like the more kind of drama aspect of it, you are going to love the show. It is like a much more expanded out version of this. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Joe's super into watching old anime, so maybe if he says that it doesn't work, but I do not watch old anime, and I had no problem getting into this. Very best show we've covered. So far, I would say collectively, just story-wise. I mean, obviously, it's not as girly, fluffy, romancy as not that any of the shows we covered have been that yet super well, but it's so, I don't know, Bridgerton. It's not, if you're into the era, maybe, because this is like a setting we do not see visited hardly ever in anime, which is a cool way to look at it. I'm trying trying to think of any other ones
like
that
historical
are like based in history outside of
historical
Japan.
Western.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, you know what we should watch? Or they make that Anne Green.
Oh, Anne of Green Gables
show anime. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. That's like
that.
new, right?
That's new. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do
that'll
that.
be. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yes. I don't know if anyone new is here. This is a chaotic episode.
This is
chaotic
yes,
episode.
our coverage is not normally this animated. Normally the things we watch are a little more coherent. And so my summaries are a little bit more coherent. I feel like my summaries really match the manic energy of the movie though.
That's true. Well, yes. That's our Joe's notes do a very good job of like, this is a recap in Joe's tone of voice and not just like, a flat recap. So yeah, I guess if you guys have similar thoughts or you're going to die on the hill of this is such a great movie, you should definitely let us know.
If you like this movie, I want to know what you like about it, because I think there is stuff here, like obviously this is, it's like a lot of people went to see this movie, people like this movie, I get it, you know what I mean, like there are parts of it I like the musical aspects of it, I think it looks really nice at certain parts, so yeah, no, please tell us what the parts of it you did like, that would like get you on board, and if you're thinking about watching the original TV show, you can email us at showjopod@gmail.com. Also, while you're interacting with your mobile device, why don't you go ahead or I guess on your computer, why don't you go ahead and rate our show 5 stars? That really helps us out. Really helps us expand our reach to new listeners so that they can get this fun little coverage of a fairly niche genre of a somewhat popular but still kind of niche genre. I got also a genre, I guess, or what, medium anime?
Medium. Yeah.
That would really help us out. So if you could rate us 5 stars, if you can leave a comment in Apple Podcasts, that would help us out because the algorithms tend to like those things. Also, if you could tell your friends, if you have friends that like shows like this, maybe you had a friend that you watched this movie with and you listened to all this way through and you said, hey, maybe you should give this a shot. We're a podcast that goes week by week, mostly through TV shows. We've covered 5 shows so far. So there's plenty in the backlog to look at if you're interested in watching through any of the shows that we've done thus far. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. And I guess we're just going to continue we aren't racking up a new series after this. We're going back to Chihayafuru, but
yep, we're going to go back to Chihayafuru. We're going to watch season 2. So if you haven't watched season 1, we did a whole coverage of season 1 a while ago, so you can go ahead and catch up on that. We're going to be starting with the first 3 episodes of season 2 next week. And we're going to get through season 2. It'll be good. We're excited.
Yes.
I'm excited to jump back to the present day.
I'm excited.
Even though I think it's like in 2009 or something is when that show came out. But yeah. So, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, I this was a hoot today. I haven't laughed that much in quite some time.
God,
so
they all sold their guns.
Had fun listening. 0 consequences.
There were so many people in that one. It's like 50 guns, like rifles. God.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
man,
did we learn anything?
What did we learn from this movie? Oh boy, what did we learn? Man, did we learn anything from this movie? What's the funniest thing that happened that isn't the selling guns thing? If you listen, if you're like really hot, like you're born really hot, you know what I mean? Like your face is melting hearts. Who cares if it's a masquerade ball? Just don't wear a mask. Just, people, you can't deprive people of looking at your hot face. You're Axel von Fersen. Don't wear a mask to a masquerade like some lowly loser. You got a great face. Show it off. Fersen tips.
Oh God, all I can think about is that turkey.
The turkey portrait. Oh my God.
You'll have to go back and find it.
If you're trying to court a woman, don't address them.
Try to poison her.
Oh my god! Don't murder suicide your girlfriend. Yeah, don't. If you're trying to ask her father for marriage, don't greet them as captain. Don't greet them as the position they had over you, in which case they were your boss. Don't remind them that they were your boss. That's a weird thing to do, Girardel. Don't do that. Just say Oscar. Don't do that, Girardel, at the Jarjayi manor. Don't do that.
Oh,
Cursed.
God. Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys listening to Joe mispronounce a lot of things for the last however many episodes of this podcast.
I should have never listened to the English dub. I could have gone to my grave never knowing.
Ruined everything. And yeah, we hope you keep listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. Wait, au revoir. No, was the French adieu?
Adieu.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Nope. What's the bye-bye?
I think both of those mean bye.
That. Okay. Bye.